What's a happening, nerds? This is John, nerding out with cards, and I just want to start off with, in response to my last video, um, the comments that were left, the text messages that I received from many people within the card community, really, kind of surprised me, took me aback, and I would say are greatly appreciated. Um, I think what will become more clear, I would say, starting with my next video and in future videos, is I would say that I am fortunate that, especially as a service member, having the chain of command that I do, uh, they really uh, came in clutch. And so I'll expand more upon that in future videos. So beyond that, I'm gonna move into more positive stuff, and so I'm gonna start off with Theo at Clemente Collector. Obviously, huge Roberto Clemente collector fan, and honestly, if you're watching this, you already kind of know more in depth on the recent giveaway that he did, because he celebrated a huge milestone for his channel. Long time coming. He's been on for a few years now. Really great stuff, that and for collectors, right, that he's been a major part of. And so he had a piece of artwork commissioned by Scott over at Reindeer Studios, and that's really amazing for him. But then he also leveraged that towards giving back to the card community, right? And you all know that I'm a big fan of Scott's work, and so so Theo did his he had his criteria and all that other stuff. And so, it was pretty flattering because, the part of that criteria is making a comment, and then you had to nominate a channel, and my channel was among that list. So then what that allowed me to be was when he did the drawing, he did it in three parts. One was for content creator, one was for Instagram, and one was, general for the people who commented, right? And so so he's doing his video, and he spins the wheel for the content creator one, and then boom, my name popped up. I'll go ahead and show the card. Look at this. Absolutely amazing stuff by Scott. It's in the vein of the Wheaties cards. You see a signature on there. I got 18 to 21. And then Dean over at Goodman and West 238th. He did the label, which the lighting back here is kind of not letting it be as clear. But it's 1952 Wheaties Roberto Clemente portrait, hand cut, great one. I like that. And then you got Theo's channel logo right here. Again, 18 and 21. But what was funny is, so he spins the wheel for the Instagram. Not really on that. That's whatever. And then the general one, my name was the first one that came up on that one too. Obviously, you can't win more than one. That'd be ridiculous. But I did win one, and it's really kind of cool because, like I said, going back to Scott's work, he did a painting of Roberto Clemente, and back when he was doing the cards, for purchase at large, I bought that card, and that was for my Roberto Clemente award collection. And then he did another. He did a Roberto Clemente marker doodle, and sold cards of that. And I bought that too, right? Because like, well, I already had the other one, and now I have all three. I mean, that's awesome. Really, really cool card. So, thank you, Theo. Thank you, Scott. That's an awesome card in my collection. The next cards I'm going to show off. So back, excuse me. I don't know what's wrong with me. On October 15th, the St. Louis Blues announced who is going to be in the class of 2026 for their Hall of Fame. And I've already showed off, my Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum collection, and I have a St. Louis Blues Hall of Fame collection as well. So anyway, so like I said, October 15th, they announced who was inducted in it. And similar to the Cardinals, the fans get a vote. Who I voted for was not elected this time. Not a big deal. So anyway, so I have the cards for those players. Now they're all in hand. I'm going to show them off now. But so I have this Al Arbor. And this is 1968 O-Pee-Chee. And so if you look on the back, it says printed in Canada. And, there was an O-Pee-Chee, and then there was a Topps. It's funny, a while back I was messaging Rob over at Cash Cards, and he asked me if I had O-Pee-Chee cards, and of course I do. And so, like with my Cardinals collection, it's, first Topps card, and then a Playing Days card if they play before Topps. And so for the Blues, what I do in this collection is I get their first O-Pee-Chee card. It's printed in Canada. Hockey started in Canada. They're in Halifax, Nova Scotia. So that's why I target the O-Pee-Chee cards. So anyway, so Al Arbor, at the Blues inception back in the 60s, he was their first captain. He's a defenseman. And their first 3 years, they went to the Stanley Cup final, even though they didn't win. But the structure was the original 6 and the new 6, and one of each was going to play each other, right? So the Blues got manhandled in the Stanley Cup finals. Additionally, he later on became a coach for the St. Louis Blues. But then, of course, he later on went on to greater fame, being the head coach of the New York Islanders dynasty back in the 80s. So anyway, Al Arbor, class of 2026. The next player, Barrett Jackman, his first O-Pee-Chee card. And if you notice, this one's autographed. It just didn't cost that much. I have met Barrett Jackman in the past. He signed a hat of mine that I don't have anymore. Hats are just like I don't know why I thought to get that autographed. Anyway, real dumb idea. So it's like, all right, cool. I'll get an autographed copy. And this is a 2003 O-Pee-Chee. Barrett Jackman, long time Blue. Known for, he won the Calder Trophy, which is hockey's, Rookie of the Year. Really good stuff. Not a big point guy. He's more of a stay-at-home defenseman. But, he was a mainstay on the blue line. So, Barrett Jackman, class of 2026. And the next player, his first Blues card, they didn't have O-Pee-Chee cards those years. I might do a video on O-Pee-Chee cards, but anyway, so in the absence of that, I got this score card, and it's got more of a throwback theme to it. Anyway, this is 2010, and so Alexander Steen, he was a mid-season acquisition from the Maple Leafs. He was a one-time first-round draft pick. Wasn't really panning out with the Leafs. They dumped him, and then he became a very good player for the Blues. He had some really good highlights, some big playoff moments for us, because we don't have a lot of those as Blues fans. But then, more importantly, here's the back. He was a member of the 2019 Stanley Cup championship team. And I think that's what really kind of helped propel him towards this Hall of Fame selection. So anyway, so really cool. Alexander Steen, class of 2026. So now my St. Louis Blues Hall of Fame collection is once again up to date. That's really fun collection scope for me, because it's constantly updating, evolving. Evolving is not really the right word, but updating for sure. With all the new classes, right? And I'll do a future video on that. I mean, I know it's hockey and not super popular here on the YouTube, but I don't care because I like it. And last thing I'll talk about, I mentioned in my last video, and this isn't going to come across too well on this video because of lighting and all that other stuff, but the updates, my Yadi Gold Topps Gold collection. So like I said, I got my checklist here on the front, and I'm not going to go through the individual cards that I've gotten since the last time I showed cards of him, but I'm only 7 away from completing his gold run, which is outstanding. If you notice, this is a binder, right? Y'all know that. At the end of the day, what I want to do is I want to have a Yadier Molina binder. And I've shown on my channel before, I got cards of his that are in slabs. They're in one touches. I got raw card or ungraded cards. And now I got, my Topps Gold run, I got them in top loaders. And I want all of them in one binder. If you, Tony Talks Cards did a recent video kind of alluding to a similar thing. He wants his cards bindered because you can just flip through them and whatnot. I'm the same way. Having a box of cards that are in stack, top loaders and stuff like that just isn't as satisfying. And I like the binder. I've already shown like the Ozzie Smith binder or whatnot, and I want to go kind of the same route for Yadi or Molina. And because of pages that they make these days and whatnot, like you can binder so many different things compared to what you used to be able to. So anyway, in my time and space now, I just have this little binder, and it's only the Topps Gold cards. And I'm just going to kind of show you what I've done with these so far. And I'll do a future video on the Yadi Molina binder when I get around to it. But like I said, the cards won't come across super clear, but anyway, these 4 pocket pages, because the big thing is, you got this big card right here, the rookie card, and I want it protected in such a way that I don't have to worry about it, but I also want it standard with all of the other gold cards. So that's why I'm kind of doing this. And so then you kind of go here, and what I'm doing right now, and so these are the flagship cards, and I'm missing 3 of them. And you already saw the 2 open spaces and the open space right here. And that's like the first section all the way to 2023. And then the All-Star cards, that's the next section. And I'm missing 2. Yeah, you got 2010, 2016 that I'm missing right there. And then there's team cards. That's the next section. Postseason cards, missing 2 right there. And then like teammate cards, I'm missing 1. So that's the 7, right? But one of the things I thought I'd show on this video that I think is really kind of cool, and like I said, it's not a part of the Yadi Molina Topps Gold run necessarily, but it's like an adjacent collection. Things I thought were really fun, but I've showed this card before. It's Jose and Benji Molina Topps Gold card, but then and forgive me, I didn't look up the numbers, but only a handful of brothers have won the Gold Glove, and Benji and Yadi have won the Gold Glove, so I got a Benji card right there. And only a handful of battery mates have won the Gold Glove, period, let alone in the same year. And Yadi Molina and Adam Wainwright have done it, and they've done it twice, 2009, 2013. And so right here's a 2013 card of Adam Wainwright, and so I thought that'd be kind of cool to include within this grouping of cards. Just a neat way to have fun with the collection. I know it didn't come across super well on the camera, but Benji Molina and Adam Wainwright cards, right, that tie into Yadi Molina. Like I said, I have fun with it. That collection scope has been a blast. Like, it'll be great when it's done, and then at the same time when it is done, it'll be like, oh, now what do I do? But anyway, so with that, like I said, I wanted to get this video out, update to my Yadi collection, the Blues Hall of Fame collection, and once again, thank you, Theo. It's an honor being one of the recipients. There's only 21 of these, and I have one of this Scott at Reindeer Studios Roberto Clemente card. So anyway, and to reiterate, based off my last video, thank you to everybody, and you all nerd your own way.